Hello out there in Radio Land. Hello out there in Video Land. You are tuned in to Absolutely on 4680Q Radio on a nice Wednesday out here in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, of course. Look at the weather, John.
Du son de soleil.
Oui, mais oui. It's beautiful out, considering we're almost in December. I mean, we got to take that into account, right?
See you in December.
Yeah, we will see you in December, which is what, 2 days away or something like that?
No, it's on Sunday. We got a couple of games before then.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about it.
We got a game tonight.
Do we have to talk about it?
Then we got a game on Friday.
Do we have to talk about that?
Or no. Do we have a game on Friday? Yeah, Friday.
Oh, I don't know. We play Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. Afternoon games.
Yeah, we have a game on Saturday in New York.
Because we got the
MSG with MSL at MSG.
Another loss.
And then we play the dreaded
Bruins.
Yeah, Bears.
Yeah, we should be able to beat
the
them.
Bears.
They suck.
The Bears.
They're bad.
The Bears.
Yeah, we'll shut out last night again.
The Boston Bears.
Swayman.
He's swaying.
The Beantown Bruisers, the guys with the spaghetti stains on their wife beater shirts. That's the Boston guys. And we got to go, I think, into their house and put up with all this trailer trash.
Yes, it's a 3:30 in the afternoon game.
Oh, man.
At the, what do they call it, the TD Center?
Yeah, I think as they call it, the Toothless Center. TD, no tooth.
Bobby Toothless Orr.
Bobby Boar. Okay, so enough about Boston. We don't want to talk about that. They just give me agita, these guys. But the first 20 games is over with a 6-2 loss to the Vegan Golden Knights.
Finally.
What are they called?
Hey, finally.
Vegas Golden Knights, and they have a name.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, which we did better than at least this team we lost to. They have a name.
I got a name.
Well, the team we played from Utah don't have a name, and we lost to them too.
Does that game count then?
Well, yeah, unfortunately it does. So we made predictions for all this, right? We ended up with a less than stellar 7-11-2 record, which puts us last in our division.
We're 31st out of 32.
Well, actually, we're 17th we're 17 points because we got a point last night. I forgot about that, which puts us like 30th or something in our division. And tied with some other crappy teams at the bottom. We're minus 22 now.
But we're looking good for a big draft choice.
We're looking good for a great draft choice.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Unfortunately, the other 30 draft picks we had in the last 3 years didn't work out, I guess.
Maybe we can draft another guy like Slavkovsky.
I think we got to draft a new drafter. Can we draft somebody who can play in the NHL sometime in the future?
I'm going to blame, if Demidov doesn't work out, I'm going to blame Celine Dion.
Yeah. Well,
okay?
I'm happy with that.
How's that?
We could blame her for everything. She should have bought the team way back when.
Wouldn't that have been amazing?
That would have been amazing.
Then they'd be the Vegas Knights because her husband would have moved them to Vegas.
Yeah, then we'd be the Montreal Golden Knights. But having said that, I mean, we can't just talk about negative stuff here, right? We have to talk about something positive.
We can't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because people yell at me when I just talk negative. They call me a whiner and a complainer. I give them the stats, and they say I'm a whiner and complainer. I'm going...
You don't drink wine, first of all. You're a Scotch drinker. You're not a whiner.
Well, never mind that. I say you're whining about my whining. How ironic. What a paradox.
Absolutely.
Oh, but now you're whining because I'm whining. Okay. Okay, I get it. You're not all there. Let's face it. So here's the good part. We're only 7 points away from Buffalo Sabres, who hold down the last wild card spot with 23 points, and make that 6 points because we got 17 now.
This is the good stuff we're getting to?
With 61 games left, we could have a shot with Laine returning in the next maybe week.
When I hear people say Laine's, won't be playing this week, I don't think he's playing next week either. Okay? Number one.
But you told us that about Price. We haven't seen him for 3 years. Am I wrong? And they say, oh, he'll be out in like 3 months for his knee.
He's still on the. He's still a part of the team, isn't
We haven't seen him for 3 years. Uh oh.
I think this season is. I don't expect to be in the playoffs this season.
Well, we'll do the math. I did some math, and we'll figure that one out.
Okay.
But first, I want to just say about this shirt. Look at this.
Oh, yeah, your shirt. I love.
I got to show you my shirt. Look at this. The Winter Classic. 2016 Winter Classic, January the 1st, 2016. And we played Boston in that game.
The Bears.
And you know what? Carey Price would have been in net, right? That's 8 years ago, so he would have been in net.
Yes.
And his backup would have probably been Halak.
Right.
And you know what? We won that game 5-1.
And was Price in the net?
I would say he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was an exciting game. I remember watching that game, and
and it was played in Boston, I guess.
It was played in Boston, actually at Fenway Park.
Wow.
Yeah, they opened up Fenway Park, put a rink in it and everything, outdoors, right? The big green monster wall of park there. And they played in there. Now, what an exciting time.
There's never been a Winter Classic in La Belle Provence.
I have to say no. Not that I remember.
I don't think so.
I remember Edmonton.
That was the first one.
And that was with Jose Theodore.
And that was a great game.
With the hat. Yeah. It was a really good game.
That was a great game.
Yeah,
there really should be a Winter Classic in La Belle Provence.
I think so. Where are we going to have it? Exhibition Park? Is that still alive?
I mean, it can be.
The Olympic Stadium? Is that still there?
No, it could be anywhere. It doesn't have to be in Montreal. Go north of the city and go up to
Sorel,
Morin Heights or someplace.
We call that Sorel or whatever.
Where they golf all the time. Go up there and set it up.
Set it up on the 14th hole.
Build some.
Everybody will show up if they put it on a golf course.
Yeah, build some stands and off you go. It could be
Oh, that would be fantastic.
But we really need a Winter Classic in Montreal.
Well, we need a winter Classic before we have a Winter Classic. You know what I'm saying?
Winter.
See what I did there?
Yes.
See what I did there?
It's a play on words.
It's a pun. Play on words, yes. So anyway, things aren't looking good for the last 2 games, but we'll get into the stats and the numbers later on, and I'll prove to you that even though we suck, we still have a chance. We're not as bad as everybody thinks.
31 out of 32 teams.
Well, 30th. Yeah, I think there's 2 tied with 16 points for last, and we're 30.
Even better.
So we're right there. We're right there.
We're ahead of.
But having said that, we're not that far out in a turnaround with the lucky 11. Turnaround the lucky 11 could set us straight. But you know what we got to do right now?
Yes.
Okay, what do we got to do?
Habs trivia.
We always do Habs trivia. And let's get that over with, and we'll see.
Get it over with. The whole show should be Habs trivia. One day we'll have to do a whole Habs trivia show.
Yeah, all Habs trivia, all show, and then we won't have to face the reality of Habs on the ice. Okay, so here's a good one. You should know this one.
Okay.
Which Habs player, out there in Videoland, you got to subscribe to hear this stuff. Come on, it costs you nothing to subscribe. You just hit the button. There's no charge. Beep. Which Habs player is the youngest player in franchise history to score a goal for the Habs at age 18 years, 75 days?
Wow. That's young.
That's young.
That's very young.
Yes. But somebody did it. One of the Habs did it.
Absolutely.
So I'll give
first
you 4
of all,
names.
Before we go there.
Okay.
Is that the youngest player ever?
Ever.
Not just from Montreal, but ever in the NHL is what I'm asking.
No, I don't think it's the youngest ever in the NHL, but it's the youngest for the youngest
Montreal Canadian player.
And I'll give you some clues here, everybody that don't know, if you don't know what it is that you have to think that most players in the old era never hit the NHL till they were well in their 20s. So if that gives you any of a hint of maybe where this player was coming from and what era he played in, maybe that'll give you a little bit of a hint. But it doesn't mean that players 18 years old didn't come out of the OHL and play for Montreal back in the old days. But, you have to think about that kind of stuff, right? Like, you're going to
absolutely.
You're going to be a Sherlock Holmes here. You got to play the detective here.
Elementary.
Let me give you the names, though, just so you have a chance at this one.
Okay.
Jimmy Roberts.
Jim Roberts. Yeah, you would never even suspect it would be a guy like Jim Roberts.
No.
Not really a goal scorer.
Mario Tremblay.
That's a possibility.
Jurov Slavkovsky.
Did his brother play for the Habs too?
I think his brother still plays for them. You just don't see him much. He hasn't done anything this year.
Slav.
It's been there a couple of years now.
Yeah, he is. What is Slav now? 20?
Yeah, he's 20. He started when he was 18.
So he's a perfect candidate.
Hello there. Hello there. Sing. Aurel Joliet. From the old days.
Well, he's from the old days, and you already excluded him with...
Well, not necessarily. I'm just saying that normally in the old days, players didn't come up that young, but I'm sure there were a couple that came out of the Montreal...
Is that like a red herring then? Or?
Red... No, that was Red Story.
He was a referee.
Red Green.
Red Story did play, but then he became a referee.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Slavkovsky.
Okay. Well, and then that makes sense. I mean, he was 18 when he came in and he did score a goal.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's all he scored this year, too, in 21 games. So.
He's only got one at this point?
I think he's got one goal. That's it.
And does Doc have one goal?
Doc's probably got a goal or two.
I think he's got one, and then I think
and Caulfield got stalled at 12, but we're gonna talk about that because he's just waiting. Caulfield
and Struble scored 2 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah, Struble. Yeah, what a surprise! Jason Struble or whatever his name is, Jaden Struble. Isn't that what his name is? Yes. Okay, so Jimmy Roberts, Mario Tremblay, Jurov Slavkovsky, or Aurel Joliet. What do you think out there in TV land or in video land?
Or in podcast land?
Now, John says it's Slavkovsky,
I'm taking Slavkovsky.
That's a hell of a pick. But it's wrong. Believe it or not, the correct answer is Mario Tremblay.
I believe that. And
did you know, out there in video land, that Mario Tremblay was also nicknamed, do you know his nickname?
No.
Le Bleuet Bionique.
The Blue Bionic?
The Bionic Blueberry.
Oh, did he like to eat blueberries?
No, because of his aggressive style of play contrasted with a French-Latin background. That's what it says. That's what AI told me. But I don't know about that one.
That's a whole nother story.
AI. Yeah, I don't think AI is very I. It's missing the I. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Why? Because of that. That's what they said. And maybe those blue eyes, right? Maybe that's why they call them the Bionic Blueberry.
I've never heard of Mario having a nickname.
Well, we called him A-hole. After what happened with Wah, we called him A-hole.
He was the coach.
He was the coach. Drafted 12th overall in the 1974 draft by the Habs, Tremblay spent his entire career with the Habs, joining the team in 74 and playing 12 years with them. He amassed 258 goals and 326 assists for 584 points and won 5 Stanley Cups with the team.
Yeah, he was a crowd favorite.
Oh, he was. And he was in that amazing run of 4 cups in the late 70s, and he was also there for the 1986 Stanley Cup, where Patrick Waugh led the thing. He had 4 seasons of 30 goals or more, sharing a line with Doug Risebrough and Yvan Lambert.
Him and Yvan Lambert. I mean,
yep, Lambert.
That's when they were playing with the Nordiques in the playoffs that year.
Yeah, by the G's, yes. And he had the winning goal in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals against
Quebec Nordiques? No. Boston
Bruins to give the Habs the 78 Stanley Cup.
That's pretty amazing.
There you go. And he was also there for the 1986 win, where a young goaltender, Patrick Waugh, pulled off some of the greatest goaltending displays of all time to lead the Habs to the Stanley Cup. Ironically, Mario Tremblay was the reason that Patrick Waugh asked for a trade. And apparently, this feud between him and Waugh went right back to '86. They didn't like each other.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
And when he got there as coach, it carried on. And
but they're over that now.
They're over that now.
They made a commercial together, didn't they?
That's what the whole thing was. Remember, they did that, and everybody was going, they did it together.
They did a TV commercial.
Tremblay was a colorful player for the Habs and the youngest ever to score a goal.
Number 14?
Number 14, Mario Tremblay.
Nice player.
Yeah, he was. He was a good player.
Yeah,
I enjoyed watching Mario Tremblay.
Loved Mario Tremblay.
And that line.
Mario had the spirit. Yeah, and he had that that spirit that Gallagher carries to this day.
It's almost like a Claude Lemieux type of player, a disturber. He had over 1,000 minutes of penalties.
I think Lemieux was actually a better goal scorer.
Could be.
Lemieux really could. Lemieux was a complete. Lemieux was a very underrated, complete player.
He was. I
love the spirit of Mario Tremblay because he wasn't the biggest guy, but he played big.
He did, and he was on the third line or something. With Risebrough and Lambert, and that line,
tough line, Yvon Lambert. He's Doug Risebrough too, a big dude actually.
Yeah, and that line carried a lot of the play. They did a lot of damage in the playoffs and stuff like that. That was a very important line to Montreal. Something that I wish we had today.
Well, I think I don't know. I'm guessing that MSL is trying to start that kind of a tradition with a fourth line of Armia, Doc, and Slavkovsky.
I got some bad news about Martin St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad to hear. What happened?
Well, the fans are calling him Martin St. Loser.
Oh, that's not very nice.
The fans that's what they're calling him now, Martin St. Loser.
That's not very nice.
Well, that's not nice at all, although he hasn't won a lot of games. But, they're calling him and they're starting to get on him. That's what that's all about. They're starting to get on him. Martin St. Loser. I'm seeing these comments, and boy, he's in tough. He looks like he got a little bit grayer over the last couple of weeks than he used to.
Oh, he's going to be getting a little grayer.
He's going to look like me.
He's going to be getting gray real quickly.
But yeah, so there you go, Mario Tremblay, and colorful guy with the Canadians, even into modern day when he coached the team, and we lost Patrick Waugh. Because he left him in for 9 goals. And Waugh said, I never play here again by the G's at Ron Perry or Corey or whatever his name was. I never play here again. That was it. He was gone to Colorado.
C'est tout.
Yeah, fini. So some comments. We got comments on our videos.
Oh, on our podcast.
Yes. On YouTube. You can see this on YouTube later on in the afternoon.
Fantastic.
And we got some comments on it.
Yeah, we're getting views, we're getting likes, and we're getting comments, which is what we really enjoy.
So the guy who commented the most this week was Vince Houdon.
Houdini?
Houdon.
Oh, who don't? Houdoni.
Houdon. H-U-D-O-N. Vince.
All the best to you.
He says, Fedorov is the Russian player who dated Anna Kournikova, the tennis player. She was a beauty, too. And remember last week we were talking about was Pavel Bure, the guy who dated
Yes.
It was Fedorov. So he straightened us out on that one. Thank you, Vince. And then he said, hi, Paul. I watch your HABSOLUTELY podcast every week and love it. When he's talking about, he's talking about us, right? He said, hi, Paul. Thanks for taking the time to do a Habs podcast every week. I love that you are both fanatics like myself. I've been a fan since '71 when Ken Dryden exploded on the scene and won that unexpected cup. I've been in love with them ever since. Carry on, gentlemen. P.S. What happened to Deeks? Haven't seen him on your podcast in weeks.
Where is Drew Deeks? That's not.
Is that him?
I thought it was for a second, but it's not.
It's not. No,
it's not. It's not Drew Deeks.
But Drew Deeks is taking a sabbatical from podcasts. He's had other engagements that are taking up his time, and we love Drew Deeks. He has an open invitation to come on the show anytime he likes.
I think is he doing Richard III or Hamlet?
I think it's Richard III.
Très bien.
What's that one that says Romeo, Romeo, where art thou, Romeo?
It sounds like a Genesis song.
He's doing, I don't know. But he's tied up with other stuff, and he's really not doing a lot of podcasts. Now, I just saw on Facebook, so if you're looking to see a little bit of Drew Deeks, what he's been doing, he was at a game, I think, in Buffalo.
He went to the Buffalo game, and he reported on the Buffalo game.
Yeah, and I think he did like a montage video of that trip to the Buffalo, see Buffalo play Montreal a few weeks ago. So you might see that online. But yeah, we love Drew Deeks. He's just not around right now. But when he gets a chance, he'll be in here. We love having him in here. It's just a lot of fun with Drew Deeks.
Yeah, I think he's going through the Santa's mailbag right now.
He's going through Santa's mailbag. And Vince said he liked the trivia part.
Well, who wouldn't?
I mean, I think that's a great part of the show. I really do. Only because we have such a storied past. I think we just celebrated 107 years in the NHL, if I'm not mistaken. And
107 shows probably as well.
107 shows. Yeah, this is our 100th and what? 108. Today's 108.
There you go. We're right there with the Habs.
The Habs. And so what a storied history. And there's so much out there that even we don't know, because we were around 107 years ago, although John has been around 80 of them. I have over 80. He's an octogenarian, right?
Absolutely. Give me some oxygen.
So it's nice to go back and see some things that our guys did in their glory days and relive it.
And even, I mean, it's hard to there's so many games. It's hard to remember it all.
Yeah, it is. It is. So the trivia brings back great memories for me of when I watched the Habs back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s
when
and 90s.
Our friend who made the comments, what's his name?
Vince Houdon.
When he says, he came to love the Canadians in 1971 when, Dryden came onto the scene. I mean, as soon as I hear you say that, in my mind, I'm seeing Ken Dryden kicking out his leg to stop a puck, like right from Jim Pappin's stick, like it's right there. It's so vivid. I mean, indelible memories.
They really are. They really are. And we thank Vince. We appreciate the comments and ask you to spread the word about our show. Let's get more viewers and get them to subscribe to the channel. Us old guys remember the great days of the Habs and are waiting their arrival back to the NHL. And
but even being an octogenarian, I so enjoy what we're trying to do today.
Absolutely.
And I love discussing it.
Yeah.
Intensely.
And you know what? We're going to have to send Vince a Absolutely t-shirt whenever we get them printed. Your name's on the list, Vince.
Absolutely. Send us your address.
Yeah, we're gonna get some shirts printed. Absolutely shirts. We'll send you one, buddy. Thanks for the comments. And as much as you appreciate us doing this podcast, we certainly appreciate you tuning in and commenting on our podcast. So now that we've got the nice news out of the way, let's get to the bad news. Vegas Golden Knights, we lose 6-2.
There is no bad news.
Just some is worse than others.
There you go.
There's no such thing as bad news. Just some news is not as good as others.
I like that.
You like that attitude?
I really do.
On a touching night where players from both teams escorted kids out suffering from childhood cancer.
Touchy night?
Yeah. Touching night. The Habs took a beating. So it was really nice to see those kids come out and the Habs honor and support, childhood cancer.
I had somebody text me right away speaking to that.
Yeah, it was really touching. And, when they took the kids out and the little kids like this skated out with their heroes. I mean,
and Montreal has had a history of looking after young children who sadly have contacted cancer in their life, in their early journey, and so good on them.
Good on them. But we lost 6-2, 17 shots on net. Who are you going to scare with that?
Well, it's not about scaring anybody. It's about putting the puck in the net.
At the end of the day, we're less than 50% in the face-off circle. Couldn't muster just 17 shots. Had our goalie pulled again. How many times is that now? Montepo's been pulled in a game? 4 or 5?
I love it when they pull the goalie.
Yeah, I love it. And we lost 6-2. Now, it doesn't sound like we dominated anything, although people tell me we played a great game.
No, that's not true.
I know. What are you going to do?
That's not true. And we played much like we were playing the previous season.
Yeah, somebody mentioned about the previous season, and I said, you know what? And you correct me if I'm wrong here. But last year, it seemed like when we watched the games, we lost a lot of games by 1 goal. And to me, the games were all competitive. Like, we were losing, but I was happy because at least we were in the game. I mean, when you lose by 1 goal, that game could go either way with a goal post or whatever, right? And I felt we were in the game. This year, man, I just don't feel we're in any of these games. We've been swamped like 7 or 8 games out of 21 we played. I mean, we 4 or 5 goals or more. It's just ridiculous.
You know how we were talking about McIntosh? I mean, to me, it's flip and flop. I mean, last week was a pretty good week. The week before was much like this week. It's flip and flop with this team.
Flip and flop.
And my biggest fear that I mentioned on the last episode was that we had this long stretch of time. We played the Monday in Buffalo, and then we didn't play until the following Saturday in Montreal. And I thought, that's just too long to be off. And what's going to happen? We seem to have, picked up some energy. We had some momentum, and it just went away.
Well, what's funny is somebody said Theodore Montembeault was tired. I go, tired? The guy's 25 years old. He hasn't played in a week. And he's tired?
Please.
Can't be tired. How can he be tired?
No.
You're an octogenarian. You're not tired. And I'm right behind you, and I'm not tired.
I'm walking 10 miles a day, and I could have played that game.
Well, exactly. Like, maybe we should bring in the Zamboni driver.
I think the team itself just did not play a very good game. And I think it was exemplified by the play of Arbor Jacki. Jacki seemed to be out of position continuously. He seemed to be overskating pucks. If he tried to go down to block a puck, he slid past the opposition with the puck. He was always chasing to be in position. And I think that had a lot. And the Canadians, I don't know how many 2-on-1s I was watching during that game. It was just ridiculous. So, pass outs, we weren't taking care of those, we get the puck, but we weren't intent on how we tried to move the puck from our D zone. Block shots. We kept going down to block shots. Laine Hudson went down to block a shot. He was flying away from it. It's the idea, but where's the intent, And there were too many open men on that Vegas team. We played a pretty good first period. But after that, it just fell apart.
Didn't they scored 5 goals in the second period, right?
Yeah, it was a house of cards.
And I got to tell you about this video. There's this Montreal fan, a girl, right?
Okay.
A Montreal fan outside the Montreal Forum or the Bell Center, right?
In Femme Fatale?
After the game.
Okay.
And they asked her about the game, and she said, you know what? In 1 year, I have 12 periods, and you add them all up together, and it wasn't as painful as that second period, she goes. I love the passion of Montreal fans. I love it. I was roaring.
Sacre bleu.
This girl should be on our show.
Let's
hilarious. Hilarious. I never heard anything described quite like that, but
original.
Yeah, original, and pain is pain.
Original.
I guess so. That was. I just found that hilarious.
Yeah, I mean,
you talk about a color commentator. We need Jennifer Bottleneck to be a color commentator like that. She'd be good. This girl.
It was not a good game.
No,
it was not a good game.
It wasn't. So we get over that. We're playing a top-ranked team. I mean, didn't this team do something last year, big in the league?
Vegas?
Yeah.
Did they go to the Cup?
Didn't they win the cup last year?
Did they win the
Edmonton?
cup?
Yeah.
Oh, they beat Edmonton. There you go.
So when you look at that, you're going, we're playing the top team in the league right here. Like I didn't expect to win the game, and I said in our predictions we were going to win this one, but I never ever thought we were going to get trounced.
It's one thing to get trounced, and it's one thing to get when you're making effort, and then it's another thing to get trounced when you're not.
Yeah, well, see, you talk about effort, and that segues us right into the Utah game. And the Utah game, I mean, this team doesn't even have a name, and they beat us. They don't even have a name. They're Utah.
But you know what? They finally have a rink.
I got a name. Yeah, they have a rink with more than 5,000.
Finally.
More than 5,000 people.
Exactly. They got a real rink now.
But the Habs managed an impressive 13 shots for the game.
Did they get them all in the first period?
I don't know.
You know what? We had a good first period.
We must have got 9 of them.
We probably did. I mean, we started really well.
I don't have my phone. It's taking the video, so you have to look that one up. But Sammy had 897. Well. Not good enough. Let's face it. Sammy's not an NHL starter, no matter how much they push him to be. He just isn't good enough. And
what was the score? 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, 3-2. They won in overtime, and it's just another one of those.
So again, you go in overtime. It's anybody's game.
They said they retired in Saturday's game, and after 5 days off.
Well, they must have been really tired on last night.
Yeah, and there's no other way to say it. I mean, this team just isn't good. And maybe somewhere down the road, somewhere over the rainbow, Montreal will be good. But right now, they're just not good. And when was the last time Caulfield scored a goal?
I don't know, but he got an assist.
He got an assist. He hasn't scored a goal since at least before the Columbus game, because I was waiting for him to score the goal number 13 in honor of Johnny Gaudreau against Columbus.
He's going to score that tonight.
That's what you know what? That's what I'm saying. He's waiting for it tonight. He's going to get a standing ovation when he jumps on the ice with that sweater. He's going to score a goal, number 13, in honor of Johnny Gaudreau, and he's going to get another standing ovation. And I think the Habs can win this game. I mean, we're going to make our predictions later, but anyway, back to the Utah game. I don't know. I just. It was a dismal effort. I didn't see anything. This was so jumble. Marty St. Louis really doesn't know what he's doing. He's clueless. He's in some kind of a funk here with this team, and he don't know how to cure it. And you can tell he's mixing up the lines. He's throwing players out. And then they don't perform. None of them are performing. Slafkovsky, what's he got? 1 goal this year? These guys stink. What can I tell you?
Here's what I think. So we played Utah. I thought we had a good start.
Yep.
But we do struggle still with the puck in our D zone, moving it out. I think CC hit a post in that first period. Your guy.
It was either CC or Doc.
CC.
Somebody hit the post.
Dvorak hit a pipe.
Oh, Dvorak.
At the beginning of the second period.
Yeah, why would I mention Doc? Nobody else does. Never heard his name.
Absolutely. Struble and Newhook got goals.
Yeah.
Newhook is on the first line with Susie and CC. So
Newhook, they moved him up now.
Now we have, they brought him in with the small guys. He's on the first line. So now we have this line of Armia, Doc, and Slafkovsky. And I think MSL is like he's trying to he's telling people, he's saying, look, you're playing at you're playing at the bare minimum. You are playing on the floor. You need to go and try to reach your ceiling. We're going to change it up. And as a coach, I think moving 2 guys at the same time, like that way you're not like totally centering one person out. I think he's trying to relate to individuals rather than and treating them specifically. And I think that's an asset if he manages it and has success with it. And so But this is all going to take some time. Again, the 18-year-old Slafkovsky is only 20 this year. Yeah, we need him to perform better. We know he's got a much higher ceiling than he's showing us. Right now he's playing on the floor. And yet, if we go back, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, I was like raving about the way Slav played in one Saturday night game, where he was busting through players and he was being very aggressive. And he's kind of lost that. He's struggling. Same with Kirby Doc. I mean, Kirby Doc just, he's there's been high expectations. He really hasn't had enough ice time over the last 3 years to really mature into an NHL player. And that's exactly what he needs. And I think Marty's thinking is like, if I put these guys on the fourth line, they may have a better opportunity of actually starting to put some pucks in the net against the opposition's fourth line. They've only done it for a game and a period.
Well, let's hope it works.
So let's see where it goes.
Didn't Joshua Wawa come up for that game?
I don't know.
I think he did. Did you hear his name?
No.
What happens when these guys get up to Montreal? They tear up the AHL, and then they come up and they play in Montreal, and you don't hear their name. And I don't understand what happens there. I don't know why they, you hear everything about him in the AHL.
He had one shot.
He had one shot.
That's because it's the AHL and it's not the NHL.
Well, what did he play though? Like, how many minutes did Marty St. Louis give that guy?
I got to get to the NHL website here.
The NHL. Well, I'm going to give you a recommendation. My recommendation to fix all this.
Okay.
Bring up Laval to play in the NHL and send the Habs down to Laval for conditioning, the whole team and coaches. Can they do any worse than last place? What do you think of that?
You can't do any worse than last place. Okay?
I know. I have no suggestions. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to start moving players and get players in there that can play. But I don't think you're going to see that this year. I think the team has a lot more patience than me. And I think they're going to stick with what they got till the end of the year and reassess and go from there. Because we have contracts that are coming up. We have players that are going to be moved. And they're definitely not going to earn their way to a spot on the Habs and a renewal the way they're playing. Anderson, Dvorak, any of them. So, I think they're just going to wait it out this year. We're going to get a good draft pick.
I don't think Dvorak is like the problem. I think the problem is guys like Slafkovsky and Doc who have to produce. And they're not.
Okay.
I really think those are our problems. That the people who need to be productive are not being productive.
But these guys have done nothing for 3 years. Dvorak, Armia.
But Dvorak, you know what?
Armia's not bad. Yeah, I'll give Armia
playing very well, actually.
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit. He had a big comeback. And he's played good this year. But Anderson, another guy. What's he got? 1 goal, 21 games.
I agree. There's always room for improvement. On that second Utah goal, it was a 2-on-1 again, and it was Hudson getting caught up ice.
He's like huge minus.
I'm not really worried about that because Hudson, this is his year to learn how to play in the NHL.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'll give him that.
We got to live with that.
He's got the talent. We can see it.
Yeah, we got to live with that. But again, when we have a 2-on-1, I keep seeing whoever's playing defense sneaking over to play the goals, the guy with the puck. And inevitably that puck then gets transferred to the open man and it's in the net. And the goalie's got to play the puck. The goalie's got to play the puck, and the defense has got to play that secondary man. He can't leave him alone.
But isn't that a coaching thing?
It's a different coaching thing. But it's also, if you play in the NHL, like, you should know that. Like,
people not performing. It all points to one thing over here, doesn't it?
One big thing.
Right? I mean, and I gotta say, I'm not saying that I don't like Marty St. Louis or anything, but I'm saying that he's on I think he's on really, really thin ice right now. I just don't think he's the right coach at the right time for this team. That's what I don't think. I could be wrong. He'll probably be there to the end of the year, and next year will be a lot better, and he'll be fine. But I don't know, man. It's just there's something not right here, and I think our players have talent. I think we can see flashes of brilliance on this team. But man, oh man, it's very, very wonky. Like you say, flip flop.
It's flip flop.
Flip flop fly.
I just don't, it was a tough game for Evans because, he came back to check on that overtime with about 21 seconds left, and he just didn't get the job done.
And you know what hurt about that one? It was Sergachev. I mean, we traded him. That was the worst trade for Drouin. That was the worst trade Montreal ever made. An all-star defenseman for Drouin, who never did anything. We got rid of him. And I love this guy when he came to Montreal. And then he scores that goal. I just going, oh, well, what do you call that? Karma or whatever. Malafortuna, Molokil, Malafortuna. He gave us the Malafortuna.
MSL has been speaking about the team adjusting to pace, speed, and physicality.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And that speaks to a lot to Slavin Doc, and what he's basically saying is that we have to play the other team's game and play it better than they do if we expect to win. Because we start playing our own game and we go right off the rail in the sense that we start, cheating up, missing opportunities, not being intent how we take the puck out of our own zone, out of our D zone, and they create mistakes. And it's really becoming a problem. And he's saying that, we're really playing from our floor, not just our players, but the whole collective team. And the floor is that you're in the NHL. So like Joshua Waugh, you're playing from your floor now that you're on the team. And again, I'm not trying to criticize Joshua Waugh. I'm just using that as an example. That if you come up and you make the team and you're on the team, that's your floor. But you are expected now to reach your ceiling.
Right.
And that's
not in the NHL.
And that's what we're not seeing out of our players is they're not playing hard enough, I guess, or we don't see them. We expect them to do small things better.
So what's our answer to this? How do we get these guys to play up to their ability?
It's difficult. You have to inspire people. You
got to get Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins.
A lot of people, and a lot of people are saying, like, let's bring in other people. Let's bring in a Larry Robinson. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's like, I think what we've got to do, too many, cooks spoil the soup as well. So I really think the team has to bear down. They really have to look into themselves and bear down and say, where are we at here?
No, we had a team meeting. They had a team get together there, and
did they have
a team get together and talk in the last week. So we'll see what happens. We got 4 games between today and next Wednesday when we do the show. So we'll talk about them in a minute.
I mean, and as well in that game last night, we've got this guy named Slavkovsky. He's a big guy. Again, he needs to use his physicality.
Well, that's where he excels. He does good when he starts throwing his weight around and
in last night's game, a guy named Gallagher had 10 hits.
Yeah.
And a guy named Slavkovsky had 5.
Yeah.
And 4 of them were against the same player.
Yeah. So, I mean, half the size, twice the hits. Doesn't make sense.
So the team needs to step it up. They really do. They need to start manifesting to their ceiling.
Well, let's go to some stats.
Okay.
Okay. Habs are now 7-11-3 after 21 games and a -22. One of the worst minuses in the league. They're last in their division, 30th in the NHL, 6 points behind the Sabres for wild card, and 7 points away from Tampa Bay to sneak into 3rd in their division. So we're not, and like I say, it sounds bad, but we 61 games. we're not that far out, even though we're terrible. We're not that far out.
Right.
We're not that far out, ladies and gentlemen. Laine's coming back in the next week or so. That'll help. But like I said at the beginning of the season, goaltending will be our Achilles heel. And after 21 games, it appears that that's the case. We haven't been getting great goaltending neither. And we need a little bit better goaltending. And like you say, everybody's got to step up to their ceiling and get off the floor. Habs are terrible on the road, 2-6-1 record. And the next, I think the next 3 are on the road as we play Columbus tonight.
We play Columbus.
Caulfield will score number 13. That's my prediction. He's going to get a goal tonight, get a standing ovation before the game with Johnny Hockey on everybody's mind.
That would be sweet.
That would be
very sweet.
Yeah, so we play Columbus, Rangers, and Bruins on the road. And we come back home for the Islanders. We stay home for 5 games. And that Islanders game is the start of my lucky 11.
Lucky, so that sounds positive to me.
That sounds positive. That's my lucky 11. If we can get through these 11 games playing like 600 hockey, we have to be over 500 because we're under 500 right now. So Islanders, Nashville, Caps, Ducks, Pens, and then those 5 games. Now Islanders, they're going to be tough. Nashville, Caps. Ovechkin is a Habs killer, though. Ducks,
is
Pens,
Ovechkin playing hockey? He's not playing hockey, right?
No, he's off. He's off right now because he hurt his leg. So we make it lucky he won't be around in 3 or 4 games, and that'll be good for us. Pens we should be able to beat. Jets, probably not. They're leading the NHL. They're one of the hottest teams in the NHL right now. Then we go to Buffalo. We're at Buffalo at home. Then we play the 2 back-to-back against Detroit. We should be able to win those. Then we go on a 7-game road trip. Columbus, Florida, Tampa, Vegas, Chicago, Colorado. Those 11 games, 5 at home, 6 on the road, 600 hockey or better. And I think we're going to be in line to be battling for a wild card. That's my lucky 11 I'm talking about.
How many points is that?
Well, 6 out of the, 11 games?
11 games, 7.
Times 2 points a game. That's 22 points. We need 600, so I'm saying if we get 15 points, 12 to 15 points, we're going to be in good shape.
Okay.
Right? And I'm looking at those games, and I'm thinking of those games, next 14 games, we can probably win about 6 of them. Right? So, and that's including lucky 11. So, we'll see, man. That's our. Remember last year I talked about the Dirty Dozen, and if we could get through the Dirty Dozen, we're going to have not a bad season.
Right.
Well, we're back to that kind of a scenario, and I call it the lucky 11. These are the games we got to get through, and if we can get through that lucky 11, 5 on the road, 5 at home, and 6 on the road, in relatively good shape, then I think the season's going to fall into place for us. And with Laine back, a little bit better goaltending, your guys getting off the floor and reaching for their ceilings rather than being on the floor, I think it's possible, John. I mean, I'm optimistic.
Yes, you are.
So that's it, the lucky 11. So what do you think of this Columbus game? Are we going to beat these chumps or not?
We beat them the last game we played them at Montreal.
Okay. Correct. And that bodes well.
It does, but now I think they're going to want to win tonight.
I think they're going to want to win it. Johnny Gaudreau, us coming in.
I just think they're going to want to win. I don't think they enjoyed getting beat like they did. Yeah. They have a better record than we do at this point. It's going to be a tough game.
So it's going to be a loss. Rangers, loss.
Rangers, we're playing them in the afternoon in New York.
Yeah.
After Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I got to believe we're hanging around. I don't know if we're going to go home after Columbus. I guess tonight's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is tonight Wednesday? Yeah.
Today's Wednesday.
So tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So and then we play Saturday in New York. Is that right?
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. And then Sunday in Boston.
Boston.
We may be hanging out in the States. I don't know what they plan to do.
Yeah. We're in Columbus now. We'll probably go right to New York. You think they're going to come home for a couple days?
They could.
Yeah, it's not that far. I mean,
it's not that far.
They may come home and throw in a couple practices. I hope they do. That would be good.
It would be better than them hanging out in
New York City.
Exactly.
You know what's trouble you get into New York City?
Not a lot so much on Thanksgiving. But maybe a little more the next day.
Yeah, I would say they should go home. So you think we're going to win against the Rangers?
Rangers is Rangers tough. Are we most likely will lose that game.
Bruins?
And the Bruins game, I mean, it's back to back. So again, what are we going to do goaltending wise?
Well,
is Primo ever going to play a game?
Oh, I think that's the one he's got to play.
So
against the Bruins.
But I mean, so you think we're going to play? We're going to let Monty start the next 2 games and then Primo play?
Well, Columbus is tonight. We got 2 or 3 games 3 days between games. So yes, I think it's going to be Monty, and then Primo. I think they got to play Primo.
They have to play Primo
in the back-to-back.
And it would make sense that it gets played on the back-to-back.
Yeah.
But will they give Primo a game tonight? I don't know. We're going to find out maybe before this show is over. But Joshua Waugh, just so you know, last night played 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, he got some decent ice time then.
So he got some time.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just compare that to, we'll go right to Cole. And Cole got
15 minutes?
It looked like 18 minutes.
18? Okay.
And 38 seconds.
Okay. So Bruins, what do you think? We're going to win that or lose that one? I think we can. If we're going to win one, that's the one maybe we can win because Bruins aren't very good right now.
It'd be great to beat the Bruins.
Yeah, I had that down as a loss, but I think I'm going to change it to a win. I think we can beat Boston.
It would be great to.
So you think we're going to beat them?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't want to lose to the Bruins.
And Islanders, oh brother, man. We're at home against the Islanders. Islanders are a tough team.
Well, and plus we're playing 4 games in 7 days.
6 nights or whatever, yeah. Yeah, so I got it down as a loss, but, it could go either way, right? I'm hoping we win, of course.
Go all the way.
And that's our 4 games until next week. And then that Islanders game.
So, tonight.
That's the start of our Lucky 11.
Here we have some news.
What's that?
Starting goaltender for tonight, Hayden Primo. Confirmed.
Okay.
As of 11:15 this morning, he is our goalie tonight.
Okay. Well, I can live with that.
That's breaking news here on Absolutely.
We played last night.
Pardon me?
We played last night, didn't we?
Yes.
Well, it's a back-to-back game. Well, that's why he's in. We should know that. We should have known that.
Well, no, but the way things have been going, Primo hasn't seen a lot of ice.
No. Well, he's going to see a lot of rubber tonight, probably, so he better get ready.
Let's see what happens.
Maybe the guy will get up for the game and play a big game for us.
Let's hope so.
So, I did some thinking here.
Uh-oh. I'll do the thinking around here, Bubba Louie.
And I think that if we want a chance at the wild card in the next 61 games, we have to play at around a 700 pace.
I think we want a chance at the draft choice.
Which means we have to win 43 out of the next 61 games.
That's not going to happen. That's not.
It sounds a little rich.
Oh, that's like 66%.
Well, yeah, it's like 70%.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
So, you know what?
The reality is
we're going to get a good draft choice this year. That's the reality.
I want to do good.
And I'm going to go back and talk
I'm whining.
Like something I like, the teams that are winning Stanley Cups are teams that have 2 excellent centers. So we know we have one very good center.
Yes.
Which is Susie.
Susie.
Okay? So who else do we have at center? is Armia center.
Doc,
we know, is a center, but Doc hadn't been playing center. So now what MSL has done,
Evans,
is he's put Doc back on this fourth line playing center.
Monahan.
Oh,
we got rid of Monahan. That's right.
Yeah, he's gone. Evans is a good center, but he won't be, I don't think, in the mix 5 years from now.
Newhook, is he a center?
Newhook can play center,
yeah.
But he's not right now. He's on the wing on the first line.
Who's our other
with
center?
CC and.
Do we have any other centers? I mean, I thought everybody would play
I think Dvorak is a center.
Yeah,
too.
Dvorak. Yeah, that's it.
But Dvorak won't be on the team either. So we need to find, like, we've been kind of banking on Kirby Doc being that second center. That might not be the case. So the word on the street is that we should be drafting a center overall with our first pick.
I thought we had lots of centers. Owen Beck is a center if they bring him up.
Owen Beck is a center, but we got to draft a center with size.
Okay.
And you've got to have an impact player, like who was the guy in Florida who made all the difference?
Kachuk.
And he had another
point.
And there was one guy who scored all the goals.
Kachuk, I think it was.
And there was another guy that was kind of behind him who was tougher than nails.
I think it was Brandon Point, wasn't it?
It could be. Point? It could be. And so that's
there was a.
We need that kind of combination.
Sam Bennett was
Sam Bennett.
There.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
So you got Chuck and Bennett. So you need that type of a setup combo on your team, a combo. Exactly.
Combo. We need a combo
to go to the cup. So I think we got to concentrate on that. We got to pick a guy who's over 6 foot and 200 pounds.
There you go.
And somebody who's not afraid to be physical.
Let's get physical. So, le 3 de la semaine dernière.
That's tough to pick 3 stars from the last 2 games.
You want me to start out?
Please do.
Okay. I left it blank.
S'il vous plaît.
It's easy for me. I left it blank. There's no way I'm giving out stars on a 17-shot 6-2 loss and a 13-shot 3-2 loss in overtime. And fans are starting to call out our coach and call him Marty St. Loser.
Well,
at this point, I can't give any stars for last week. There's nothing that I saw that encourages me or that encourages me to think they're going to win any more games this year. But there's always hope. Hope springs eternal. We're Habs fans.
Hope doesn't get you anywhere. First of all, I'm not a big fan of hope. Jaden Struble.
How about charity?
Jaden Struble.
Well, Struble's good. He got a couple goals.
I'd give him a star.
I'm glad to see him doing well.
He was playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I read that they are going to continue to do this series, The Rebuild.
Oh yeah, well they should. I mean, that could be a 10-year. That could be a 10-year series.
Not like, you know what? I think this is one of the problems with the team. Too much distraction.
Well, it could be. We do have a lot of distraction.
Too much distraction. If I'd be like, boys, why would I let you be on TV when you can't win a hockey game? This is done. We're out.
I think this could be a 10 season series.
Yeah, and it might get pretty boring.
Yeah.
It might get pretty boring unless
they win.
Unless there's 3 weddings every summer.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it might be entertaining to, like, it could be, Wives of the Montreal Canadiens, season 5,
the Bachelor or something. Wasn't there a series
and
called The Bachelor?
Hockey, isn't there like Hockey Wives or something like that?
Hockey Wives of Montreal.
Yeah. You know what we do is we keep trading players who are married for players who are not married, so they can get married during the off season. So we have a TV show.
There you go. Housewives of Montreal Canadiens.
It's simple. No.
Habs Housewives.
The fact that we're even speaking like this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And it shows where we're at.
It really does.
It speaks volumes. We need to get back to trying during a hockey game. We need, we need some anger. We need some people who have some intensity and saying, I'm not settling for this. We need people to play they need to play with inspired.
Well, if comments
and I'm just not seeing that. And I think Marty is talking about it. He's talking about playing. We need to look at our pace, our speed, our physicality as to the teams we are playing. But it's one thing to say it and observe it. It's another thing to practically put it into play.
Well, if comments ruled the day, then everybody, most of the people are saying, oh, it's a rebuild. It's going to take another 5 years. And if the players are in that mindset, we don't have to win now. It's going to take 5 years for us to get any good. I don't want them to be in that mindset.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Dvorak.
So these fans got to start yelling and screaming. Get passionate.
Not only that, Dvorak, Armia, Gallagher, Anderson, Evans, Montembeau, Primo. You know what? This is your life. Like right now is your life. You will not get this opportunity again to be in the NHL and attempt to have a winning hockey team. I mean, you're in such an amazing space to be able to play for the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
But at the same point,
hello.
I think it was messy. But at the same point, you've got to live it now. Live your hockey life now.
Yeah. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we got to get out of here. We've been here for an hour. Yeah, it's time already. It's 1 o'clock.
Holy.
I know we could talk for another hour about it. But at the end of the day, we'll be back next week at noon anyway. Well, and be talking about HABSOLUTELY.
I'm looking forward to the game tonight. It will be a tougher game to win than we did last time when we played Columbus. But I feel good about the fact that we're starting Caden Primo. And let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
This could be the start of something good if we win tonight. We got to win tonight. We got to get some confidence back, too.
We got to play as a team.
Yeah.
And again, it's flip-flop. So, flop was last week. Maybe this will be flip.
Flip. Flop. Fly.
I'm looking for flip.
I'm looking for flip. Flip Wilson. Anyway, we got to get out of here. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you for your comments.
Thumbs ups.
We appreciate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. We don't care, but smash that subscribe button. It costs you nothing to subscribe. All it does is allow you to know when we put a video on and you can watch it. Come on.
Enjoy
the Habs game tonight, and we'll be cheering them on to beat Columbus. Caulfield scores 13. The crowd goes wild. Standing ovation, number 13 for Johnny Hockey.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. If I'm in Columbus and I'm a Columbus fan and Cole scores a goal,
I'm cheering.
I'll give him a hand clap, but I'm not going too far after that.
Oh no, they're going to go.
No
crazy.
Standing ovation.
No. Have a good one. My name is Paul Calamere, and I'm
Jean-Louis Filion,
and this is HABSOLUTELY. We'll see you next week at noon. Have a good week, and let's go Habs, go.